Today, on the James Bocane public announcement, first we want to give it up to the Godfather, G, the founder and contributor for the Altadena and Pasadena Gone But Not Forgotten. On the bottom, you see where you can donate to a wonderful cause in the black community. Also, you can see the photo to let you know that it's really going down Saturday, all day at Benelli Park. But those old timers, you know it as Pudding Stones. Yeah, I used to go there fishing. So that's a wonderful thing. Gone but not forgotten. How many of us has lost somebody? We can all get together, barbecue, party, have a great time like back in the 60s and the 70s and the early 80s when black love was all over the place. Didn't matter where you from, what you did, your finances, you can come out, you bring the kids, and let's go celebrate black love. So I know it says Altadena, Pasadena. But the Godfather informed me that it's for everybody, and things are getting a little expensive today. So, want some of you that have it, I know, it doesn't matter, 10, 50, 100, whatever you have, send it to that GoFundMe so we can make sure every year we can continue to have the Gone and Not Forgotten. But most of all, come out, contribute, love each other, and let's celebrate life for those who have passed to let them know that their memory lives in us. Today, we're going to do what I call the 10 attributes of original gangster. Now, a lot of people have been talking on these social media that say, there's a disconnect from the youth and the elders. And a lot of us don't understand where the original gangster term come from. Well, we know that it came from the older generations, but it came out when they were young, OG. Now we use it kind of loosely, but who is your real big homie? Do you have a big homie? Because some people use that term OG just because you're old. And some of the people, like in my community, they may be old, but I know when the big dogs was off the porch, they stood on that porch because they couldn't hang with the big dog. Now, in your neighborhood, community, and this is not just for the West Coast, this is primarily how I'll use the term gangs. But then I love using the community because that's where it's based out of. That's how all this began through social economics. Low budget. Well, I won't say low budget. It was people live where they can afford. They went to stores where they could afford. They done took the word neighborhood and how we just shorten it back 60s, 70s and use the word hood and make it sounds bad. So now they done took the word hood and made it into something that's glamorous like, oh, you ain't from the hood or this and that. Celebrities got to have street cred. I don't understand it. It's because when I grew up, we wanted to get out of poverty. We wasn't trying to go back. And nowadays, the miscommunication is a lot of people get out the neighborhood or poverty and want to go back. Make it sounds like, a lot of rappers, you do that and you do it. Flying on your finances or what you got and what you ain't got, or what the next man got, or what you ain't. And that breeds what? Wolves. See, them wolves are hungry. So now they looking, okay, you got that, now they turn on you. So you need protection. And we gonna get into that is because that's one of the attributes of original gangster. So some of you youngsters that's tuning in right now, you can look at your older homie or your elder in your community and say, is this you? Because there's three elements that I believe, and from my experience, because this is the James Bocane experience, gangbangers, affiliates, and those who are born or grew up in this neighborhood communities that, yeah, they from the section, but they don't participate in all the things that keep the neighborhood going. Because some people think negative is good, and then some people think good is negative. And that's the problem in the black community today is a lot of thinking that way. So Skittles, can you
Yes.
read for me, please?
Yes. So gang members itself isn't an American social norm, but gangster imagery in part of the street code have become normalized in American popular culture. Here are 10 qualities on how a original gangster was born. Number one, respect. Street culture often plays enormous importance on respect. An OG might believe respect has to be earned and defended. The problem comes when disrespect is treated as something requiring violence. A normal disagreement can then become a challenge to someone identity. That is true.
And yes, into their identity.
Yes.
Because you know that in today's
Yeah.
time, if you ain't part of a certain
Yes.
group of individuals, now you can be from your neighborhood for 20, 30 years,
Years. Yeah.
but you might change your thinking.
Yeah.
And this is when that disconnect comes in. When people think, "Oh man, you ain't doing this in the neighborhood. You ain't doing that." Well, damn, I got to do it for 40, 50 years. And
Years.
man, but you don't want your parents out there, your
Yeah.
dad out there hanging out on the block. You looking up at dad, grow up. You
Yeah.
immature. But you'll see someone else's dad and get mad. You want to jump him, want to call him a buster and all this. Oh, that's the big homie, but he ain't doing nothing. He ain't down. But he
Yeah.
done did it for 20, 30 years because you've been misled to believe respect is going to prison. Now, for some, I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with going to prison because some of us learn how to be men in prison. Some of us immature and get out better. Some of us, it just leads us in the wrong direction to keep believing the lie that someone told us along the way. So you also have two kind of original gangsters. One that wants to see the neighborhood progress and the community continue on with their kids, grandkids, and everything, and we look at it as a positivity and a growth.
Yeah.
Like Too Short say, there's money in the ghetto. You know, and we love our neighborhoods, and we would love to own businesses and properties in our neighborhood. And as you see today, it's not like that. Not in LA County. It's not like that anymore. Times has changed. But respect is also earned. And you earn your respect, and we get into it through your nicknames, to who you are. Nowadays, you got little, baby, and they taking on others' identity that they haven't, I'll use the street term, put that work in
Yeah.
to earn that name. They're using other people's time, decades, centuries, and coming underneath that name, but they don't respect the original gangsters. And then that becomes a problem. So now we have this disconnect, and that's why we where we at. Because number one is respect. When you got up and went to middle school, high school, because see, I grew up, we were really from our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood was when I went out of my grandmother's house, all my partners was right there. We all walked to school. We all went to North San Antonio. I'll just give y'all a glimpse of North San Antonio. Beautiful, beautiful elementary school on up to the high. And y'all know what it is. Um, but anyway, daughter hit him with number two.
All right, loyalty. Loyalty can be one of the strongest street value, and OG might be expected not to abandon friends or associates when trouble arrives. But loyalty becomes dangerous when it means protecting wrongdoing simply because the person committed it belongs to your group.
Now, that's what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
How the disconnect is
Yeah.
because now this dude go to work, then change, not time to go to prison. It's a time when you don't want to be incarcerated. And that's when I was talking about the gangbangers, the affiliate, and the people that was born in the neighborhood or just claimed the neighborhood. It's a difference. See, the gangbanger gets out there and he puts in that work. He defends his belief because that's what it is. He believe this is his community and this is where his love at, and we will continue on that because it's all about belonging, wanting to be loved, and that's what makes original gangster because he go through service. He's been through it all. He's the shooting, non-shooting, because you don't have to get shot or get shot at. What about going to college? What about being a positive role model in your community? Does that make you less of a gangster? No. They call that organized crime. But see, we're not glorifying negativity and crime. We're giving attributes on who is a original gangster because some grew up in the neighborhood, loved it, hung out. It could be your sister, it could be your brother, your cousin, your dad, your mom that grew up in that neighborhood and they transcend, but they're not in the negativity. So it doesn't take nothing from them because now we look at people that's not on the negativity as they're weak or they're busters. But you just don't know. Before three strikes, they would have knocked you out. They would have did some things to you that you would never or couldn't imagine. But time, police, and laws prevent the OG wolves that used to be out there to get these neighborhoods back because they took a lot of us out of these neighborhoods. We were loyal, but somewhere down the line, we let I won't say less educated, I would just say their intentions was more to use the neighborhood of its resources than building resources in the neighborhood because that's what keeps any community going. You have to have resources. And if you don't believe that, you kidding yourself. I don't know what school you go to. I don't know what. Because some of you youngsters, the reason why you can claim that neighborhood because of loyalty, because there was OGs out there before your time, and also loyalty comes for paying that mortgage on that house. You got to be loyal to your mortgage to pay for it, or you don't have a house. And you got to move because they come to take it. There's nothing wrong with renting. Some people live their whole life renting. It's okay. But we got to have ownership. One has to go with the other. You can't have all renters and not owning because guess what? When they get mad at you, they come take it away. So we're looking at two different kind of OGs.
Yes.
One that sees the future and want the neighborhood to progress, and the other one that don't want to do nothing and lead the little homies thinking that he's about progress and that because he don't want the youth to figure out that he's been left behind. He's really mentally immature. Number three.
Courage. The street can reward people who appear fearless. Young people may learn not to show fear even when fear would normally tell them to leave a dangerous situation. Real courage, however, can also mean refusing a fight, admitting a mistake, protecting your family, or walking away from a lot of things.
Yes, now, courage. Let's talk about
Yes.
courage. See,
Yes.
sometimes we look at courage as, okay, fighting.
Yeah.
But it is to make the fight or flight. So our biologically we have fight or flight. Now, a lot of blacks, we do more fighting than flighting because we look at flight as weakness. Sometimes it is. I'm not saying it ain't, because some dudes them ran out, and that's why they get disciplined because they wanted, hey, remember what was that Tales from the Hood? You want the shit? I'll give you the shit. And when they give it to them, they don't want it. So yeah, but taking care of your family. See, that hit home to me is because I have 4 kids that I had to, for years, over 10 years, keep apologizing because I was misled in believing when I was young all these different attributes and things, but I found out that a lot of people at that time did not believe in those attributes. They led me astray, and me being mentally immature, yeah, I said it, I was in my 20s and I was mentally immature. I believed in something and found out that it wasn't real, it was fake. But that didn't take nothing away from my original gangsterism. Is because I came back strong, and that's why you see me today giving back to the black community that I believe I took from. See, I took from being with my kids, being a man, being responsible, because I was too busy in the hood. And I definitely wasn't affiliate because I was in activities. But this is not about me, but it's about taking care of your responsibilities, because sometimes you got to look and say, you know what? Right now, I need to just get out this situation because if I continue, my woman, my kids, my mama is going to suffer because I might be the man of the house. There, my step pops, whatever. Somebody might be in jail, oldest brother, whatever it is. Now you the man of the house, but you always want to sit outside because we know it. A lot of us get into fights over nothing. Mental immaturity. We want to talk about each other. We want to look at it. Oh, you ain't this, you ain't that. You get mad because the next person is having more money than you. Why are you mad? There's opportunities out there for you just as like it's for him or her. But you get mad and you want to sit like a wolf and stay hungry and go hunt. But sometimes that wolf get exterminated. So be careful of what you want to be. And there's a lot of original gangsters that understand what I'm saying right now is because we the last of the Mohicans, the real blacks. See, we the last that done did a lot of time and got out, and we stood fast. And we still here trying to repair the black community because we're not weak men. Just because we're not out there on them blocks no more, we're not weak. We very much encourage our youth to take a different perspective on life, finances, and love, and respect for the women. That's all we trying to do because that other way is not working. Y'all see it. Stay vigilant, people. Stay vigilant because the attack is on. They trying to exterminate black life, black love, and black existence. We wonder why. Number 4.
Yes. Reputation. An OG name can become a form of social current. If people know your reputation, that reputation can produce influence without you saying anything. This helps explain why nicknames, stories, legends can become so important within street culture.
Now, you know me as James Bouquet, but there's people on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and Facebook is going to look at me and say, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Now, there's haters out there is going, because we go through life. Everybody can't like you. But I know this. They can't say that I have not gave back to my community multiple times. I didn't worry about what my community did for me. I was more into what I can do for my community because I didn't want it to end. The same love I had sitting up at the park shooting caroms, eating free lunch, playing basketball, running, playing football, loving life as a young black man. I want to continue young black people going into the gyms, boxing, and all the fun we used to have, riding bikes, building mopeds, building go-karts. Just love the young black women coming out, because it's like, oh, look at them boys over there. Then the young ladies, yes, strong, talented, all these things, singing, dancing. We do it all for what? To get marketed by another nationality that can't stand us? And you mean to tell me we gonna go for this? Label us as a hood? And when I meant the hood, it means they're telling everyone else that's where the low budget people are. Go get them, get their money, because they're not watching. They think they are. We give them a few basketball players. Well, what about the people that don't play basketball, that wasn't blessed with that characteristics or that physical ability? What about them? What about the disabled people in your neighborhood? You just gonna leave them behind? Because that could be your mother, your father, your brother. We just gonna leave our people behind because they're not celebrities? Because what we don't feel they down? They can't put work in no more? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Because original gangster ain't just about destruction. It's about repairing, loving, being an elder. Because that's what really an original gangster is an elder in the community that lived through a lot of trauma. And there's good time. Because I remember the block parties. I remember all the parties. Woo! Yes. I remember because Pomona was a beautiful black city. But number 5.
Yes, leadership. Many influencers, street figures posing genuine leadership abilities. They can organize people, community, recruit, settle disagreements, and influence younger people. Those same abilities could potentially produce a coach, entrepreneur, uh, a organizer, mentor, or community leaders. This issue isn't always the absence of leadership ability. Sometimes it is where the leadership gets invested.
Now, leadership. See, those are the people that I enjoy being around, the leaders. I'll give you a little story. When I was young in high school, it was a black owned, excuse me, it was a black owned liquor store. I wanted to be a hardhead. I'd go to school because that's where all the girls was, and it was fun in school. So we would go to school. I would go down to Frank's Liquor, and it would be a bunch of dudes in the back. And we used to call them winos and everything. But these those had jobs, and they were somebody's daddies and everything. So back then, they were laundering. And, police would come and get them all. Now, all you got to do is go hang in front of, what is that, Home Depot and all these other places, but they ain't pulling up on them. They're immigrants that willing to work. When we did it, we were winos and we were up to something. But anyway, we would sit on milk carts, and I would have me a bottle of Night Train. That's with the 40s, old English. And I would talk to these old men, and they gave me so much knowledge on how to build something, how to be an electrician. They were painters. They were everything. They even taught me how to treat a woman. And we'd be sitting back there sipping on that wine. And slowly, when they sold the black owned liquor store, all that left. And it's never been the same over there. Never. Everything crumbled because even though those black men was looked upon as alcoholics, well, some of them were, but they worked hard. They got off work. They wasn't in the houses because at that time, the 70s, finances, the 80s, finances wasn't abundant for black people. We didn't start really having money to the 80s, the Warren 80s, and those original gangsters that can talk about them 80s, you know we love it. It wasn't all about Michael Jackson and all this and, that gangster rap, because that gangster rap, we gave it life by our sweat and our blood and our tears. Because a lot of people did time and left and barely coming home now. Just think, being in a damn cell, just a bathroom for 20, 30 years for your community, your people, and come home and they don't even know your name. See, your reputation should always be there. Because if you gave back to people, then people should give back to you. And we got too many people in the black community as takers. Right now, I just showed you right now, if you look down or you look at the photo, we have the Godfather, Altadena, Pasadena, Pomona, stand up. Because Pudding Stone is in your neck of the woods. How many of y'all going to come out, donate to one of the greatest causes that's known? Because it's all about grief, life, and the furtherance of the black community. Black love, stand up, come out, celebrate, eat, and let's all work together. Let's network. If you a carpenter, if you an electrician, truck driver, whatever it is, come out, network. Say, look here, black people, trust. I just had a talk with my cousin the other day, and he said in the last 10 years, how many black families or black businesses that you put your money in that you can trust? I had to explain to him there's not too many black businesses that exist unless you go online. In our area, it's because we have abandoned blackness. We integrated into something that we don't even know anymore. That's why there's a disconnect from what is original gangster, a YG, young black man, and an elder black man. Women, I'm just using the male term. I'm not trying to be sexist. So women as well. I don't want to get into the women because y'all have issues too. But right now, I'm just speaking to the masses. I'm trying to get y'all to come to Pudding Stone this Saturday. They will be there all day enjoying people, love, family, togetherness. Well, this is a 2-part public announcement. So come back tomorrow and tune in to the James Bocane public announcements. You can find me on my radio show every Saturday between the hours of 4 to 5. It's called the 4 o'clock Insights, the James Kane Experience on KCAA Radio 106.5, 1050 AM. It's all about black love, black pride, and black education. So let's go. Until I see you tomorrow again with 6 through 10, stay vigilant, watch out, and pay attention. Focus on progress. But if you're not on progress, whatever you is, it's okay too, because we love you too. Because it's not just about how black people can be positive. It's also the ones who live a life that we might say negative, but may be positive to them. So it's all about perception. So if you see something that's positive to you and it may be negative to me, like Tupac said, I'm not mad at you. Take us out, Skittles.